This is 3 News Daily.
Hello everyone and welcome to 3 News Daily on this Thursday, April 13th. I'm Stephanie Haney here with your top stories from around Northeast Ohio. We start in Akron, where the 8 Akron police officers who shot and killed Jayland Walker will not testify before a grand jury. Law enforcement sources tell us the grand jury has heard from police use of force experts and the police union attorney will give a presentation instead. The grand jury decision on whether charges will be filed against those officers won't come until next week. In the meantime, more and more businesses in the downtown Akron area are increasing security in case of protests. Now, those potential protests are top of mind for Akron's mayoral candidates, all wanting to take over from current Mayor Dan Horrigan. Horrigan is not seeking a third term, and as the May 2nd primary gets closer, 7 Democratic candidates took the podium in a debate last night, answering questions from city residents. The biggest issue discussed was the shooting death of Jayland Walker and how the candidates plan to improve the city's relationship with police and the changes that they hope to make. You can watch the full debate on WKYC.com. Police are also investigating the death of a 24-year-old man found in a canal behind an apartment building on Fleming Drive. Akron Police and Fire Department responded to a shooting near the apartment around 5:45 p.m. on Wednesday. First responders found the victim's body in the water with a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. His death is being investigated as a homicide. Those are all of the details that we have right now. Also today, the man who killed a Cleveland police detective is learning his fate. 21-year-old David McDaniel is being sentenced today. He pleaded guilty to aggravated murder, aggravated robbery, and abduction charges in the 2020 shooting death of Detective James Skirnovitz. Skirnovitz and another man were shot to death on West 65th Street. That's where Cleveland police say McDaniel and 2 other minors were attempting to rob them as they sat in a police car. Also in court today, 18-year-old Strongsville woman Mackenzie Shirella. She's been arraigned on charges of murder, felonious assault, and aggravated vehicular homicide. In July, when Shirella was just 17 years old, she was involved in a deadly crash that killed 2 people. Shirella has pleaded not guilty to all of the charges. The judge set her bond at $500,000, saying the evidence in the case seems to indicate the deaths were intentional. Her next court date hasn't been set yet. Now in Geauga County, we have chilling new details about a West Geauga high school student's plan to open fire on his classmates. He had his first court appearance yesterday, and our Bree Buckley has the latest.
18-year-old Brandon Morissette appearing before a judge Wednesday after he's accused of trying to shoot his classmates at West Geauga High School last Monday. Court documents show he admitted that he was planning to go to the school library and open fire, choosing that location because it would have the most students at that time. His lawyer entering a not guilty plea on his behalf, claiming insanity for his inducing panic charge, a misdemeanor.
With respect to that charge, we'd be entering a plea not guilty by reason of insanity.
He's also facing felony charges for attempted aggravated murder and illegal possession of a deadly weapon in a school safety zone.
We're taking this very seriously. The initial charge, the attempted aggravated murder, is the most serious charge that can be brought under this type of factual scenario.
Officials say he was released from a mental health facility Tuesday afternoon. His lawyer not commenting on what he said or a motive, but says the family is devastated.
From talking to family members, his mother's death was very traumatic to him. It was 3 years ago. Other issues in his past were traumatic. And I'm in the early stages now of trying to assess what facts are out there to help assist in his defense at this time.
A student is being praised for his quick thinking after he told the school resource officer that he found a bullet in a bathroom, and they found Morissette with a gun, 3 loaded magazines, and a knife. That student stopping another possible tragedy, as many are reminded of what happened in Chardon not too long ago.
This is an issue that did bring back memories of that, certainly. But again, I think we've learned a lot from when that has happened, 11 years ago until now. And this is really a good example of, we had a school resource officer in place. We had a very vigilant student who brought his concerns to the administration.
Here's what I think a lot of people are asking. How do we get from that moment of the bullet being found in the bathroom to then questioning Morissette and finding those weapons? This is something we'll obviously continue to follow. Right now, Morissette is being held without bond because the judge says he's a threat to public safety. He'll be back in court on May 3rd, but his felony charges could go to a grand jury before then, and if convicted, he faces more than a decade in prison. Now, the West Geauga community is rallying behind the student who reported finding that bullet in the bathroom that led to Morissette's arrest. According to a GoFundMe campaign, his name is Casey Orloski. His aunt started the fundraiser to raise money for his future. Now, he's not sure what he wants to do after high school, according to the campaign, but is considering trade school. And apparently he's gotten a lot of thank you cards since last Monday's indictment and has been grateful for that. So if you go to that GoFundMe page, which we have linked on WKYC.com, you can send him a card if you want to. The P.O. Box address is right there. All right, now huge football news. The Cleveland Browns and FirstEnergy Stadium are splitting. They're mutually ending their naming rights agreement. This is after a federal conviction for former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder tied to being bribed by FirstEnergy officials. So the stadium will now return to its former name, Cleveland Browns Stadium, something a lot of people have been calling for. Now, in more sports news, yesterday an 11-year-old boy got the surprise of a lifetime. Mighty Micah from Mansfield was treated to the Guardians-Yankees game at Progressive Field, and little did he know he was going to be throwing out the first pitch. Now, Micah plays travel baseball, and he delivered a great first pitch right over home base, and his mom, dad, and 5 siblings were watching. It turns out Micah has a great track record with the Guardians.
So every time I've been to a game, the Cleveland Guardians have won. So I might just happen to be a good luck charm.
We think that's definitely true, Micah. Now, Micah has known that he's been living with a rare form of muscle and connective tissue cancer called ARMS since he was diagnosed in October. So a day at the ballpark was just what he and his family needed. We love that. All right, before we go, today is the big day. We are holding our 12th annual Me Not Telethon to support our friends over at the Cleveland Animal Protective League. They do everything from vaccinations to adoptions, and they need a lot of help to make that happen. So if you'd like to donate, you can call 216-566-PETS. That's 216-566-7387, or you can text APL to 243-725. You can also head over to clevelandapl.org. Coming up tonight on Front Row at 7 o'clock, we'll reveal the total amount of donations that all of you made today. And I know that's going to be a big number because you people have a lot of love for our little furry friends around Northeast Ohio. Thanks for being here for today's edition of 3 News Daily. Whether you're watching on WKYC Plus, YouTube, Instagram, or listening on your favorite podcast platform, or watching us live on your TVs, we appreciate you. We'll see you back here tomorrow for more of your top stories from around Northeast Ohio.